your lotus feet. Thank you. Jai Guru.
Okay, this is wonderful to be here in wonderful India. And it's good to teach the Breatharian knowledge, or as we call it, living on Prana. And I like how he said living off the air, which has truth to it. Because the air is a substance, it is energy. And we live in an electromagnetic spectrum where all types of energy and gases are all around us and also going through us. We're in an age now where more than ever, the sciences are catching up with the ancients were already talking about. And the main thing when we deal with breatharianism, it means to eat very little or none at all. The reason why we say very little is because it's a skill that a person can learn where they can overcome hunger. Now, hunger is a feeling of the brain not getting enough energy. It's also an indication that there's not enough nutrients within the blood. So when that happens, the body will trigger itself to let you know to go get something to eat. So this exists. But when you deal with the Breatharian knowledge, this is a knowledge or a science where you will figure out how to give your brain the energy it needs so the brain won't have to ask for it. You will learn how to give the blood the nutrition does it need so that the body and the organs don't have to make you be uncomfortable where you have to go outside yourself. This is why meditation is the foundation of the Breatharian journey. Meditation allows you to relax the body and the mind because the body is a good conductor of energy by its nature. You got cosmic energy always raining down on us both day and night. You got energy coming from the earth. It has its own frequency. Energy coming from nature with its charged particles. We live in it. And when you relax, this allows the body to conduct the energy through it smoothly to break up blockages. Now, when a person does not know this and does not understand meditation, we have seen the results of it due to preventable diseases. That means they didn't have to happen, but an energy blockage has taken place within the organism, and it manifests as high blood pressure, liver ailments, cancer, diabetes, strokes, obesity, a sedentary lifestyle. And I could go on, but all of these did not have to take place.
Mr. Elitom,
Yes.
for last 2-3 minutes, we could not hear you because of your low bandwidth network. So just can you repeat what you said in last 2-3 minutes? I'm sorry.
Yes. So when the energy is not moving properly through the organism, which is our bodies and our minds, when it stagnates, it manifests as one of the preventable diseases that we have today. Now there's many people now, since we got a lot more knowledge, who are reversing some of their illnesses. But this is an education and a change of a lifestyle. Just by losing weight, you'll have health improvements if it's needed. Now, when you deal with the breatharian knowledge, though, we're going straight into that. This is a holistic lifestyle. That's what it is. And holistic medicine deals with the connection of the body and the mind. The body is already wired to nature, wired to the cosmic forces. Every time the sun comes out, it activates the body to bring a hormone out of the pineal gland as soon as the sun comes out. When the moon comes out, it does the same thing with another type of hormone. So that right there is an indication that the body is already hooked up with nature. But due to non-education or ignorance, the human being has been getting in the way of a lot of the processes on how we truly supposed to be living. So therefore, it caused blockages in the body. And keep in mind that your physical body is the mind. This is what the breatharian knowledge teaches you. They're not separate. They are the vehicle you're using to live in this realm. So when you're on the breatharian journey, the practitioner is going to learn how to first unblock the blockages that need to be unblocked in the body, which will bring forth healing. And healing is the root word for health. When the organism gets stronger, it will automatically, by its nature, bring more light into it from the atmosphere that we live in. We're going to make this real plain. Everybody's body glows. We got equipment today that will prove it and show it. Some people glow more than others. And it's called an electromagnetic field. And in the book, The Autobiography of a Yogi, he said we have electricity going up and down our spinal cord, and that was back in 1920 when he said that, over 100 years ago. So this knowledge isn't new. There was bits and pieces coming to us, but now we're in an age where all this information is out, and myself and others who understand this knowledge put all the pieces together. And we developed ourselves to live a full holistic lifestyle where we have made the light, the frequency off of our body get a lot higher to where we're grabbing in more light where you don't need no physical food at all. Now, food is an energy, but it's at a denser level of physical matter. Now, there's foods that hold different frequencies than others, different forms of electricity. Sort of like a lemon holds more electricity than a steak that comes from a cow. When you're on this journey, you're dealing with energy, frequency, and vibration. And you want to rotate your life to where you're living for the higher vibrations that will transform you. Now, when we say meditation is the foundation, many people will say, well, there's tens of millions of people that's meditating on the planet right now. Why haven't we heard that before? Or why can't they do it? Now let's tweak it a little bit. Because I usually tell people meditation is medication. And this isn't to put nobody down. If you're meditating and you're sick or have a blockage in the body, you might need an instructor to help you to know how to use that tool because all meditation should be geared towards removing energy blockages in the body. This is what they call energy cultivation or spiritual cultivation. You're working on something, you're cultivating it. Just like you're growing a plant, you are responsible for growing your own energy. Now, when you deal with meditation, immediately a person thinks of spirituality. And then we got a thing called prayer. And immediately a person thinks of religion. Now, both prayer and spirituality are powerful, or prayer or meditation, they're powerful. However, people has been using these tools on an outward layer of them. But there's deeper levels within these techniques. Let's take prayer, for instance. The average person today uses it for a deal breaker. Asking the higher force, I would do this if you do this for me. And that's what it's been made into. But when you get into the Breatharian knowledge, we're not taking away prayer, but we're transforming it. Right now, you're not begging to the higher forces. You're going within. And in the Hebrew terminology, prayer comes from the word tefillah, which means to think. Your thought process is a vehicle. The way you think affects the cells of your body. It affects the behavior of your organs. So when you get into this Breatharian knowledge, you're going to have to start thinking differently than before. Now, there's a word for this. This word that we use today is called contemplation. And in about the 15th century, there was a group of contemplative monks, or there was contemplative communities that broke off, because they know that as people was using prayer and meditation for, to beg to the higher forces, you do this and do that, they understood that they needed to contemplate to get away from the masses. The reason why I'm bringing this up, contemplation is the deeper level of meditation, what you need to do in order to get into another state of consciousness. Contemplation is to look or view something deeply. You are to look at it with great intention. You're to think fully of it and don't let your mind off of it. Because when you deal with the Breatharian knowledge, you're not going to find it in a textbook. You live in your body, your nature. You're the center of the universe. And we always say that the answers is inside of us. This is what we mean why you got to go inside. But you got to start asking the right questions. The higher forces, okay, I'm going there. A person who usually succeeds in this knowledge is asking, who am I? What is my potential? You're taking it deeper. Your desires really isn't in the desires of materialism. Because life is a great wonder. And if you want to be sustained by the forces that you live in, because you're creating your life, you can even block that energies. That's what people are doing. Somebody programmed us to say, if you don't eat, you'll die. That is the greatest assassination that's been put on the planet. To be educated with that, and you programmed all the cells of your body to believe that. So in this process, we're coming back to where you got to contemplate and really look at yourself to change that program, because we are biocomputers. or biomachines. Now our brains is wired for duality, but its potential is also wired for oneness, for wholeness. But since we've been exercising duality on a day-to-day level all of our lives, and that's how we've been educated, in your contemplation, you got to keep working on rewiring your mind to think on a whole level. You're one with the sun. Yes, the sun nourishes you. I'm going to be the one to tell you, you get more than just vitamin D from the sun. Somebody just told you that's all you get. That is the greatest energy, our closest star that's to the planet, that's giving life to all life on the planet. And you're smart enough to get the energy from that you need. Oh, man. Now, dealing with this state of consciousness on contemplation. In yoga philosophy, they say you are to become, life is to become yoga. What do they mean by that? And in Christianity, they saying you should become a walking prayer or a walking meditation. Now, that don't mean you just sit there in a prayer pose all day long. That means that you are in a deep thought process, a contemplative thought process, where you're looking at the world and you're holding the oneness frequency. When you see people, that is you. It starts out as a philosophy, but it ain't no philosophy no more when you hold that thought. You get nourished by people, or you could get robbed with energy. The air, it is not empty. It got all types of frequencies going through our bodies right now. Even using this technology, you can't see it, you can't smell it, you can't hear it, but it's there. Now, when we deal with gamma rays, UV rays, infrared rays, X-rays, radio waves, they've been going through our bodies since ancient times, and they're doing it right now today. So the practitioner or the ancient masters who really brought this out, they were self-sustaining. That's why all cultures talk about the tree of life. But to come into this, the first phase, number one pillar, we got a thing called fasting. Now, here I am in India right now, and I believe they got a holiday coming up this weekend. 10 days of fasting dealing with what? Ganesha, I believe. But fasting is in that holiday. In all cultures around the world where I travel, they got fasting somewhere within the culture. Now, that isn't by coincidence, even though we made it religious. It's to detoxify the body, get the organs back healthy, get the brain cells to regenerate itself, so you could grab more ATP or higher frequency energy that you live in that's right around you. Now, don't feel like that when you're new to fasting, backing up from food, because you're going to go through a healing crisis. If you've been eating all of your life, that's what's going to happen. You got the coating of food going all through you. You got mucus going all through you. And the more mucus you got in you, and the more you like to eat, you should drink. You should drink water. You need to. Because the brain, again, is giving you that thirsty feeling so the cells could try to clean themselves out due to the behavior. But when you start mastering fasting, yes, you can master it, even though fasting is temporary. About the third or fourth day, this is coming from a lot of people. We got YouTube now telling their testimonies. They feel like they had more energy. They didn't feel hunger no more. Thirst decreased. This is what people are saying. Now, fasting is one thing, but we talk about living on prana now. This is why you want the meditation within it, because when you relax the body and learn how to relax the mind, your body by its nature.
A few minutes, 1 minute we couldn't hear. Will you please repeat?
All right, y'all hear me now?
We couldn't hear.
All right, we're back online.
We can hear.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. So we want to master fasting. Step number 1, you want to start putting that into your lifestyle. And you'll get stronger as time goes. Try to keep it as the same day, because we're creatures of habit. When you keep doing something repeatedly, your body will start looking forward to it and it'll start doing it. At least learn to master one day before you try to take on more. Step number 1. Step number 2, meditation. If you're not meditation regularly, learn to. But now we're going to add this in. Because a lot of people be meditating, but they cannot feel the energy. And like they say in Kung Fu, if you don't have energy, you can have all the moves all day long. If you don't have the energy to go along with it, your Kung Fu is no good. Now, when I say the word meditation, I want you to learn energy cultivation. You do got energy centers in your body. You want to get to the point where you start moving that energy through the body till you can feel it. You want to get sensitive enough where you can feel the energy that surrounds you and also going through the body. You need to cultivate that if you're not there yet. You got the most energy centers in your hands. You really want to start working with it. Whoa, the rains is coming down. This is India. Y'all still hear me? Wow, those rains is louder than I thought. All right. And there's many meditations again. There's visualization. Wherever your mind goes, the energy goes. So when you focus on different energy centers in the body, you want to wait there for a while to keep moving those energies. We got chanting. You feel it in your throat. But after a while, you want to get it to the body, rippling through, where you should be able to feel it in your feet, feel it in your hands. You got to start getting the body lightened up to start moving these energies. Because if there's aches and pains in the body, we put it there, and if we put it there, we can remove it. That's how you got to think. See, this is a winner thought process. You are going to transform yourself, literally. Oh man, this is good. So now, when we look at that word again, now first of all, we went through fasting, we went through meditation. Now you want to start exercising. Exercising is good for the heart. It's good for the blood flow, whether it's walking, moving. Get the energy flowing in the body. This is the breatharian journey. We're not talking spooky. These things, you have to learn to start putting them together to work with your energy. Your body that we use is at the denser level of creation, of physical matter. You want to build up the molecules within the body, the atoms. It's not far-fetched. This is why in science, again, they got these tools that could show you your electromagnetic field that comes off the body. And it will change. You will change. And in this age we live in, since we got YouTube, they got hundreds, if not thousands of people who lost weight, the cheeks went, this and that. This is the breatharian message. You are going to train yourself. But not just on that physical level, you're also adding in a meditation to master these energies that your ancestors, or the knowledge where it came from, what they're talking about. So you can go into eating very little or none at all with no hunger, no passing out, because we could go long periods of times without no food. And indefinitely when you have set your life up for that. But this is the great work. Now where you at when you're eating? We're not saying put tape on your mouth. Now we said earlier that food got different vibrations and frequencies just being who they are. They're in the physical realm, all these different foods. When you're on a breatharian journey, first of all, quantity means more than what you're eating. You got to learn to stop overeating, pigging out, right? So that your body can transform itself. Don't beat up on yourself. We're not saying that. But you got to get a new plan on how you're transforming yourself. Just like a person's walking up the step. That's why in spirituality, they talk in levels and degrees. One person might be at this level and degree. There's knowledge for that person. You can't jump way up here. Then when you get a new level of knowledge when you're ready to let go of something, then you'll go to the next step. And be easy on yourself so that you can properly make these transitions. And your body will understand what you're trying to do when you be easy on yourself. Now we brought up the meditation. We brought up the fasting. We brought up the exercise, and we brought up the diet. Now we're going back to the thought process, because this is 100% mental. And we were saying our brains, the potential that we have, is wired for unity. It's inside of you. Not just with other people, with animals, with plants. You were born into this. So when you're into the contemplative thought process, it takes work, because your mind will lose it at times and go right back into duality. You got to keep working at it as you go through experiences, situations in life. Look at it with another mode of thought. It's unlike we were doing before. Me against them. Now you understand that this is a unity thought process. And like I said, it's not easy. It will take time. So that your brain can rewire itself. Now when I say that word rewire itself, that's not far-fetched no more. Now thousands of years ago, the Buddhists said, what did they say? What you think, the brain will literally change its form, or a person would change the form or the way they think. That's how they said it. Then in Christianity and other places, you are what you think. This isn't far-fetched. The day we live in, there's so much proof to that. And they even got a thing called neuroplasticity. Now listen at that word, plasticity. I'm glad they got that word. It's sort of like they use the word plastic. Right. You're like plastic. You can reshape yourself, reform yourself. Not just losing weight. You understand? You can change the way the energies are running in your body. See, when you feel an ache and a pain in the body, energy runs like water, and it always looks for the place of least resistance. So when you put an energy blockage there, of course it's going to go around it because it's there. But you feel it as pain. You got to keep working with that area until it breaks free. so the energy could go through it smoothly. This is the core of how you heal yourself. This is it. So to become food free, first you got to go through a healing crisis. You got to heal yourself to a certain degree. And when you do that, the testimony that you will have in your self-realization is, I got more energy. I feel better. My thoughts is better. And then you don't want to go back to that last lifestyle. That's your testimony. But this is where it gets good. We heard those parts before. Now we're coming out saying that you don't need to eat dense physical food. Now you need nutrition, but a lot of people don't know what that word means. Now we said earlier that you feel hungry when the brain is not getting enough energy. That's what it boils down to. It's all about the brain. The brain of the body uses the most energy of the other organs, and the brain cares about itself. If it's not getting its energy and you don't get it for it, it will make you sick so you can sit down. It will shut down body parts so it could get that energy. That's what the brain does. So that's why it's so important to also, now listen what contemplation means. It's to observe or study something thoughtfully. You have to start studying the breatharian knowledge. Study what I'm saying. Studying yourself. Know thyself, or you should know the universe. Everything is rotating. Everything's flowing. It's self-sustaining. But it's this reality that you must start seeking. Start getting into. Now let me talk about myself. Because that's why I had to bring up this contemplation. When I learned about the breatharian knowledge, now I've already done a lot of work on myself because I went through a holistic lifestyle. I was already living it at the best of my knowledge at the time. Because we think of holistic knowledge, which is true, it deals with the food you're eating. So there was a time I was 80% live and raw foods. And I was on top of my game, I thought, until somebody said there's people that don't eat. And I said, what? And I went to go seek the information. Now look at this. Even when I found the information, I didn't jump into it right away. I contemplated over it. I observed it. I studied it so I could try to wrap my head around it. You can do something once you can see yourself doing it, and you got to wrap your head around it. Just don't do it because other people doing it. It gotta make sense to you. Really. So this is why contemplation is so serious. And when you really want to master something, you want to constantly study that knowledge, to be in it, to hear somebody talking it, to see it, to read it, so it can get inside you. You don't know what a mineral is or a vitamin. I never took vitamins, even when I was living out there in the world. Even till now. Don't know what it is, and why should I study it? But that is the chemical knowledge of a frequency that people was giving us back then. Now, we're not saying they lied. That served during a certain season in humanity's evolution. See, not only you're evolving as an individual, humanity is evolving collectively. You can see it. Right now we're traveling, we're meeting each other even more, we're sharing knowledge like never before. This is why you see so many aches and pains, baby pains, taken all over the planet. A lot of things are resurrecting themselves that was hidden, And a lot of things are being created new that wasn't here before. We're evolving. We're communicating more, having family talk. And even this knowledge of the breatharian knowledge, somebody said to me one day, well, you say it's a science. Where's the science behind it? I said it's already here. It's already been here. Where at? It's in yoga. Yoga's a science. What you think it was talking about? To become one with the divine. What was it talking about? You are breaking up energy channels within the body. Now I'm bringing up that system. There's other systems. But that's one that's what? Popular right now. It's more than just stretching the leg and all of this. You're putting your thought into it. You're bringing in flexibility, stamina, getting the blood flowing, breathing differently, the pranayama. And then when you really get serious with it, it tells you it's best to practice yoga on an empty stomach. I heard it. And then at the third level of yoga, I've been saying this.
Mr. Elitom,
Yes.
can't hear you. Yes. Now you.
All right, we're on. So, it's right in yoga. And that's just one system I'm bringing up. It's in yoga. It's in the arch of Tai Chi. It's more than just moving around with the flow. You're becoming one, moving the energy through the body when you really understand what these tools are for. It's not to go fight, to go beat somebody up. It's to move the body, which is your mind. Now going back to neuroplasticity that they use in the medical field. When you start doing something differently, like playing a piano, becoming an artist, your brain literally rewires itself on how the neurons is going through the brain. We change ourselves all the time, whether the habit is good or bad. And we being creatures of habit, you are going to what? If you want to become a breatharian, you got to start thinking like one. You got to rewire your mind to be one. And if you accomplish that, that's part of the universal laws. The energy is going to start coming to you. You became good at it. You will become better at it. Yes, there's different levels and degrees of breatharianism. Now listen at this. This is right on the internet. Back in the 60s, I believe, there was a man, he weighed like over 400 pounds. Now that's incredible right there on what we can do. He drank water for over a year. Now listen at that. 380 something days. He drank water. Now I'm bringing that up because I just want to show you what we can do. That's a lot of willpower to be able to do that. You need will on anything you're trying to accomplish, especially these levels. And willpower is a muscle of a thought. It's a habit of focus. It's basically focus. You have to stay focused, not in today, in tomorrow. You failed last week, so you quit and you pick it back at next month. That's not how you develop willpower. Willpower, like I started out by this, when I started, I kept a fast. This is before I even learned about food freedom. I fasted once a week, every day at the same time. I didn't care if there was a family get-together going, you need to eat. I'll do it afterwards after my time is up. That's what type of mind you need. So the body can pick up the program. And my health means more to try to please other people. This is where we at now. As you start growing, well, what if somebody offer you some food? People do it to me all the time. I give it to somebody else. This is where we're at. This is how we're developing. So that was the first thing I did, was had to be dedicated and faithful for the higher thought that I wanted to manifest. And the thought that should be up before you really isn't the breatharian. It's to better your health. You should have fun transforming yourself. That's where the fun is at. You could do more push-ups. You could walk longer. You could do more. You meet new friends. I could go on and on. Your family conversation got a lot better. This is what's happening. That's what feeds you. The other things of negativity, because we're all dealing with an energy battle. It's a battle of the mind. A battle of the mind. Now, when we go back to this contemplation, or when you start looking at your thoughts, a person who's into eating right now, you're into it. So the contemplate you're thinking of now is, when am I going to eat for dinner? When am I going to eat for breakfast? When am I going to eat for lunch? That means that you are cultivated that thought. That's why it's so thick. You've been doing it for years. So when you hear food freedom, what? But I got to tell you, I've been on this path for 20 years. Going through many different stages. Growing. Getting stronger. This is what you want. So we can bring it down to earth. And this is for anybody. You understand? There's no ethnic group, no race, no religion, because all of us are energy beings living inside high energy. See, the energy is so high around us right now. Your body is so intelligent, it's only giving you enough that you can handle. That's why everybody's not glowing the same. They're glowing, but not the same. You want to increase your glow, if that makes any sense. Increase your frequency. And every day we're either going up or down. We're not saying you always got to be up here. There's days by its nature, you go through energy influxes. You're going to go through things in life. But you keep jumping back on, working on yourself until it becomes commonplace, your second nature. Oh man, this is good. And when we're working with this energy, there's a thing called internal kung fu. See, all these different systems is out there. But in order to better it, your organs, all it needs is energy. It don't care where it's coming from. Once the organs and the brain is happy, your body, it won't mess with you. You won't feel those feelings. So that's why we got to stay constant into these practices. But when you're dealing with that thought process again, there is no destination. Every day you're making decisions. Every day, whatever you're thinking about, that's what you are. So when I go out there in the morning and walk the Arabian Sea, it feels so good. I love being in that state. I know because I've been in this too long. Soon as you put something in the system, you're going to feel differently being out there. I don't want to feel like that. You get tired of it. You got to start being conscious of how you feel. Everything you put in your body and how you're eating right now. Start being conscious of it. Start being conscious of how you feel when you do clean yourself out. You know, start out with the 1 day. Seasonal time, you should do a 3 to 7 day. You don't need to do nothing real big. 21 days, 30 days. You don't need to do that. You understand? Because this is where it's at. It's the programming of the mind. To where the belief system will become so strong, it will become second place. Right now, nutritionists can't tell me nothing. Because I'd have brainwashed myself. Now look what that said. I brainwashed. I took my brain out and washed it from the other stuff that was in it and put it right back in. That's what we got to do to ourselves. You got to brainwash yourself. Because the last knowledge, that's how everybody's functioning, which is understandable. So in order to make this change again, you're going to be happy that you did. Now, Buddha said something like this: desire leads to craving, and craving leads to pain and suffering. Now, he ain't said if the desire was good or bad. But whatever you do, there's something in our nature, because we're creatures of pleasures and habits, where you want to do it again. That's how we are. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you overdo it, it's going to lead to pain and suffering. Everybody's dealing with something that I kind of need to leave that alone. I kind of need to change that habit. But there's also a need. Nature answers people's needs. That's why when you start getting on these levels, things come to me the way my life is going right now. I don't even need to ask or hope for it. It shows up because nature already knew what I needed. You're already into the matrix. The realization you're going to come into to show you how I feel. My body is my mind. It's not the body is one thing, the mind is another. No, it's not. And not only that, this reality is my mind. That's why everywhere I go, I meet good people. Everything goes good. That's what's happening. It's my mind. It's my way of thinking. And when different things do happen, now listen to how I said that. Increased stimuli, you take a look at it so you can see, what do you supposed to see? What do you supposed to hear? This is when you live in a what? A straight up energetic, spiritual lifestyle. So you can continue to be nourished. That's all you think about. When a blockage comes, that's just letting you know that that needs to be removed so you can keep being sustained. The only thing that's holding you back is us. It's not no governments. It's not no conspiracy. Us. It's in your mind. It's in your makeup. It's in your DNA. And we got the tools already. It isn't no tools was hidden back. There's some special breatharian meditation. No, it's not. I picked up the ones that I liked and I worked with it. Worked with it. Worked with it till I felt the energy and said, what is this? The top of my head was itching. That just shows my crown chakra opened up. It was itching. All of this stuff. My hands, I start playing with the energy, laughing. I start feeling my feet on the ground and could feel the energy coming up the leg. That's what you want. And I did it. Didn't have to go to an ashram, didn't have to go sit under a teacher, because I was in a state where, now listen at this, I was in a place where nobody had this knowledge. Now I'm not going to play no fiddle like give a crying story. Everything was against me. So that was a real tough one. Right now things that got easier. You got the most information dealing with living on prana, living on energy, the technology of the human being more than ever before today. You can look up how the energy is flowing out the body. You can learn about the charged particles in nature and how it makes you feel better. You can learn about the benefits of the sun, the benefits of the earth. You got the most information now. When I grabbed this information, everybody around me was obese. Not putting nobody down. That was the nature. This was the standard diet. As soon as I lost 10 pounds or 10 kilos, everybody was talking about me. You understand? It was hard back then, but now it got easier. But I was built for that. See, it wasn't hard for me. I like controversy anyway. That's probably why I was chosen for it. Wasn't going to stop. Because when you start working with the energy, you're going to know it's true because it's your energy. It's nobody else's. It don't matter what people were saying. I was like, but wait a minute. I'm sitting here playing with all this energy. I'm going to make this work. That's how you got to look at it. It don't matter what they saying across the street. You got to make it work. You got to transform yourself. You got to take the time out for yourself. Now, yes, there is a thing that take care of other people and all of this other stuff. But on the Breatharian knowledge, I'm going to tell you the truth. You come first. Because you working right now. You got to wrap your head around this. Some things could be what? Stagnations to get you out of yourself. You got to look at other people sometimes and say, you can handle that. Right. You're a big boy, you're a big girl, you can handle that. But they got the same power as you got. Right now, you got to work on yourself because let me put it like this. When you transform, you can help a lot more people. That's what it breaks down to. If you love to help people, you'll work on yourself right now. You'll get a lot more done. You sit out there, because I did it before, helping so many people, and my health was going bad. And I realized, how am I going to help people if I can't even help myself? But when I came back and helped myself and resurrected, I'm helping many people over the planet. That's what it's about. Seek ye first was the kingdom of God, and all these things that come into you. The kingdom is inside. Life is inside. The light is inside. Even though I talked about the sun, you manifest your own light. Y'all start coordinating with each other. Me and the sun be saying hi. It shines and I shine right back. This is what we're talking about, the Breatharian knowledge. Now let's go into, I know some of these things have come up. Let's go into the liquid journey. Now when you look at physical matter, we was talking about the denser foods. And I just told you a man back in the 60s who's documented drank water for over a year. That is powerful. Because even with the Breatharian knowledge, they got it down to where if you drink water for 3 months, you're considered a breatharian. Oh. Y'all hear me now? Hear me now? Testing 1, 2, 3. All right. That's powerful. Water don't have no calories in it. Huh?
Yeah.
All right. Water don't have no calories in it. And water also draws light to it. All right, let's make this clear. And it would do wonders on your physical makeup. Matter of fact, I remember one time somebody said to me, and this was when I was in my holistic lifestyle. They said, yeah, if you drink water for 7 days, all those poisons will come out of you. And I said, what? I heard it first. But one day I was in a situation where I had enough time, and I ain't even planned it. I just started drinking water for 7 days. And sure enough, I seen all this poison coming out of me, all this stuff coming out of me. Wow. That's what got me activated. And I still didn't know about the Breatharian knowledge. You understand? The knowledge is out here. But when you're a seeker and you're really seeking, the answers will come to you. That's why even when we get this Breatharian knowledge, I ain't got to force it on nobody. I don't care if you believe it or not. All we did was made ourselves available for those people who need it, for those people who really, really want to work with it. It's here and it's available. So this is a powerful age we're in, and the benefits is mind-blowing. I could go on and on and on with those. The benefits of it. But the main benefit is your health. No high blood pressure. A lot of energy to carry out things you want to do. Better your skin. Better your eyesight. All this stuff. You think of ideas that you wouldn't even thought about before. You sleep less, so you got the time and energy to do stuff. What do you want to do? This is what we're talking about. The regeneration of yourself. That's why the Bible says what? I created a new heaven and a new earth. But we look at that before. But now we're at another age. Heaven means a high state of consciousness. You created a new mind, and you created a new earth, which is your body. This is your garden. You cultivate this first and watch everything else fall in place. This is the Breatharian knowledge. It's here to stay. It's not going nowhere. There's more people transforming like never before, making great improvements, great strides. And this is where we at. And it's not going to stop. It's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Because I got news for you. Even the frequency in the atmosphere is getting higher. Now, we're not going to talk spooky like it's coming from Andromeda or nothing like that. When you see those nuclear spills that happen in Russia, Chernobyl, the one in Japan, that radiation is in us right now. It changed the whole atmosphere. This is why we're all one. It ain't like it just happened over in China and they got radiated. We radiated right now just from that. You can't get away from it. We're all in the same matrix. So the energy's already changed. It's already higher. And it's going to keep on getting higher. The longer you live, the more energy you have, because you're in a realm where you're getting more radiated. Now, by learning this, as I age, I'm getting stronger. Right. You should. This is where we are. This is why this knowledge is so good. You stick with the past knowledge, because even before I came on this, I had all these aches and pains in the body, overweight. But people was trying to put the idea in me that that's just the way it is. That's how age is supposed to take you. Something in me was saying, no, that ain't right. Wait a minute. But right now, I'm so glad I transformed from that person I used to be. Physically, mentally, and emotionally. This is what we're talking about. This is a powerful, high vibrational frequency. And we still got some good things to look up to. We're just scratching the surface. In yoga, this is called a minor city power. They use the word minor. Because what they're saying is, how can you even contemplate the rest of the energy realm or the spiritual realm if you can't even master a little hunger? That's what they're saying. You can't even take a time out without thinking about what you're going to eat next. And we're talking about the exploration of consciousness. And even in the physical sciences now, in the material world, a lot of them is on the exploration of consciousness. One scientist even said consciousness is fundamental. Eventually, they was trying to avoid it for a long time. But the ancients already been talking about this. It's consciousness. Now, try to describe what it is. Everybody got different definitions. But you're using it now. I'm using consciousness. I woke up with it. You got it. We're using this medium. And you could do all types of things with this medium. See, human potential just means something that's dormant. You just didn't think about it. That's basically what it's saying. That's why when we throw this knowledge out here, I said you need to go contemplate. When you start thinking about it, just thinking about it, without even going into action, changes start taking place. It's like a jack in the box. Every time you even try to put it down, I'm going to just go keep on eating. It'll keep popping back up to you. Man, I need to do something. Right. It's like a jack in the box. Because that is your true nature. Your body always rotates to try to heal itself. It don't need no medication. Every time you wake up in the morning and use the bathroom, you already detoxified. Your body does it by its nature. So this is easy once you wrap your head around it. Don't force it, wrap your head around it. It's not a belief system. You got to see it again. Your digestive system still works. Your intestines ain't going to shrivel up. It's sitting in the fluid. You ever see those laboratories where they have a brain in a jar with the fluid in it and this organ in there? Well, this is the laboratory right here. Everything is being preserved and taken care of and will be used when it's needed. But this ain't no clean atmosphere you in. There's even some energy so strong, right, you could get energy poisoning. You got radon in nature and all this other stuff. So your body is designed to what? Deal with stress. Now, let's look at the human makeup. There's a thing called evolution. And there's even an argument going on with that, and this shouldn't even be. People just don't understand what's trying to be said. Evolution is just another word for change. Change is a constant. We all know change takes place. Well, yeah. Okay then. It isn't far-fetched when you see an organism, it started out one way, and over a period of time it start making changes to come to something else. We got organs on our bodies right now you don't even need. Your rudimentary organs, I believe. But you had an ancestor who needed them. They're just still showing up. And as we go in the future, you're going to have organs that you probably think you need right now. You ain't going to need them. The Breatharian knowledge wakes you up to this so you could take part in your evolution. You could take part in your change. Because even for an organism or an animal to evolve into something else, it wasn't just a physical change. There was a need that had to be met. They took part in it mentally. So the Breatharian knowledge is giving you a consciousness where you are taking part mentally into your evolution. You're not just waiting for things to take place. The need is already created. This is good. And when you deal with the body, like I said, everything's still working. It works when it's needed. So some people usually say, do you still use the bathroom? If something needs to come out, that's what's coming out. You swallowing bugs and everything, you get dirty just for being outside. So if it goes in the body gets rid of it. If you're in a real polluted atmosphere, your skin is a good absorber. This is an organ. So your body got ways to get rid of it. It'll get rid of it through the skin. It'll get rid of it through burping. It'll get rid of it through farting. But you ain't doing it like a normal person. And we know if a person's eating every day, if you don't use the bathroom after you done ate something, there's a thing called constipation. That's what we're talking about. So now when you start getting all that stuff out of you, there's an energy within your hips. Now we're going back to yoga again. Not only yoga, even Kung Fu talks about this. The power comes from the hips. Energy love to move upwards. So that's why you want to get rid of that gut so you can have a lot more energy coming up. Get rid of those love handles so you can get a lot more energy coming up. We're talking real now. Heat love to rise upwards, up the spinal cord. To do what? To help nourish the organs, because heat is energy. We know that. Heat is energy. You're 98.6 degrees inside of the body right now. That's a lot of energy. That's like the furnace. But instead of keep throwing the fossil fuels in there, like logs, we know there's other ways to what? Use the energy now. You keep the flame lit through oxygen. That's what breath work is so powerful. All you're doing is working with the heat within you. The movement, you stretching up stuff, moving it, so the heat could come up to heal you. Get the blood flow, the liquids. You're mostly water. The brain is sitting in water. This is a given. I taught this message so much, sometimes somebody asks me, what about this? I was like, where do I begin? I talk it so much. Where do I begin? That's why I created a YouTube channel, over 400 videos. Go get caught up. Just telling you the experience. And not just my videos, there's many of them out there. Like I said, you got the most information right now of food freedom. And not only that, you can start experimenting on yourself. Start making some changes to better your health. Because I'm going to tell you something. No matter how much materialism you get or how much money you get, if you wake up feeling bad, you staying in the bed. You're feeling miserable. That's all it is. You can't buy this way out of this. Nature don't know what money is. The only currency it knows is energy flow. That's the truth of the matter. Oh, man. So this is the Breatharian knowledge. We must go from our wiring of duality to a thought process where we're wired with the oneness. Now, of course, on one level, when you eat an apple, you became one with the apple. So I understand the knowledge how the apple got the enzymes and it got better energy than that food. That's one level. But there's other degrees now. This apple is molecules put together just like your body. This is how you have to think. Why should this have to sustain you? Where did the apple get its energy from? Oh, the sun, the earth, the water, the nutrients. Oh, okay. I got it. I don't need you no more. We're smart. Smart beings. Oh, man. Smart. Figure out all types of stuff. Now it's time for us to figure out or bring back the spiritual sciences. This is what this is. Yes, it's a science. Science means knowledge. In Greek, they use gnosis. And the Gnostics, you remember them? They were dealing with knowledge, spiritual knowledge. Hebrew, they used the word da'af. And it was talking about the what? Spiritual knowledge. It's already been here. Egypt was dealing with it. India is dealing with it. The spiritual sciences. The teachers already came and gave us the platform. I'm not saying nothing new. I just went all the way out and seen what it was saying and took it seriously. And like they say, once people start making it, we're changing the matrix. If you want to change the world, you change yourself. Every time you make changes, you already changed the energy of the matrix. Just like I said, when that nuclear reactor went off in Chernobyl, it affected everybody that's living on this planet. So likewise, you're more powerful than that. When you make a change and transform yourself, you just affected everybody on the planet. This is why it's growing and it's not going nowhere. So once again, is there any questions? The contemplative lifestyle. Hello? Oh, y'all can't hear me. All right. Well, what we were saying, is there any questions now?
Anybody has any questions? No, you have been so clear that everybody is so clear about what you said. I think there's no question. Really wonderful. Have you completed? Yeah. Have something? Anybody else?